The mountains of Yugoslavia, winter 1943. Snow drifts bury the trails, gunfire echoes faintly across the ridges, and a small group of fighters huddle around a dim, flickering flame. There are no supply convoys, no airdrops, no safety nets. And yet, they survived. Not through luck, but through creation. They built their own survival kit, not from steel or leather, but from trash. Melted shell casings, torn uniforms, bent tin. This was the survival kit that shouldn't have existed, and yet it kept an army alive. When the Axis invaded Yugoslavia in 1941, the country fractured, but resistance flared in the mountains. Led by Josip Broz Tito, the partisans formed one of World War II's fiercest guerrilla armies. They operated deep behind enemy lines, surrounded on every side, often cut off for months at a time. Factories were gone, ammunition was scarce, even food was unpredictable. So, they turned to the only resource they had, the wreckage of war itself. They built a portable field kit designed not by engineers, but by necessity. A survival kit forged from the remains of battle. Every item they carried followed a brutal rule. If it can't be made from the battlefield, it's not worth carrying. Their tools weren't store-bought. They were reborn, melted, reshaped, and reinvented. This mindset didn't just keep them alive. It rewired the way they saw the world. Because, to the partisans, every scrap of brass, tin, or cloth wasn't garbage. It was potential. It was survival, disguised as debris. After every firefight, they scoured the fields, not for medals or souvenirs, but for empty rifle and machine gun casings. These small brass shells became their lifeline. In makeshift forges dug into the earth, fueled by wood, oil, or even animal fat, they melted brass into glowing liquid metal. From that molten gold, they poured spoons, cups, buckles, buttons, and even small mirrors. Every single drop of brass served a purpose. A tiny brass cup might be used to eat, measure, and signal with light at night. Crude? Yes, but incredibly reliable. While modern soldiers depended on supply chains, these fighters relied on pure ingenuity. If you strip away the war, that principle still holds true today. Survival isn't about the gear you own. It's about what you can make. Melted brass in the 1940s is today's aluminum can or broken tool. Every modern prepper or bushcrafter can learn from this. See potential where others only see junk. Adapt, recycle, reshape. That's real survival. Of all the materials they salvaged, tin was the most versatile. It came from food cans, shrapnel, or even wrecked aircraft panels. They hammered tin flat to make heat reflectors and small foldable stoves. A simple trench lined with tin could capture and focus the heat from a single flame. A stealth heater that saved countless lives from the bitter cold. They even built pocket-sized stoves that folded like a letter, capable of boiling a cup of water with just a handful of twigs. One can became many things: a cooker, a lamp, a heater. And for fighters living under constant threat, it meant warmth without smoke, and warmth without drawing unwanted attention. You can try this yourself. Flatten a tin can and place it behind your camp stove or a candle. You'll instantly feel how it doubles your heat efficiency. It's a 1940s trick that still works perfectly today. Partisan survival wasn't built on technology. It was built on physics, creativity, and patience. And these same principles apply to any off-grid living situation you might face. One of their most ingenious hacks came from sheer desperation: recycling oil. Fuel was almost non-existent. So they scavenged dirty oil from wrecked vehicles, mixed it with animal fat, and strained it through old, torn uniform cloth. That simple woven filter transformed black sludge into usable lamp oil. Layer by layer, Gravity pulled the clean fuel into a second tin below. The resulting oil burned for hours, quietly, cleanly, and almost invisibly. There was no heavy smoke, no bright flame to give away their position. Just light, born from waste. It was chemistry in its purest survival form. These weren't engineers or scientists. They were farmers, mechanics, miners, and students, ordinary people who refused to surrender to scarcity. Their survival kit wasn't just about function. It was an act of defiance. Defiance against hunger, against darkness, and against being forgotten. When they were cut off from the world, they simply built their own. Every melted casing, every hammered tin sheet, every filtered drop of oil told the same powerful story. We do not wait to be saved. We save ourselves. That mentality, not the materials, was the real weapon of the Yugoslav Partisans, because when everything else collapsed, their resourcefulness became their supply line. So, what can you take from their legacy today? Start small. Try forging a spoon from scrap aluminum. Build a simple lamp from a can and a cloth wick. Try filtering used cooking oil through fabric. Not because you need to, but because it teaches you how to think. Every improvised tool you create trains your brain to see solutions where others only see ruin. That's how survival truly begins. Not in your hands, but in your head. The Yugoslav Partisan survival kit wasn't mass-produced. It was earned piece by piece through trial, failure, and sheer will. It stands today as a powerful reminder that resilience isn't about equipment. It's about mindset. So the next time you hold a broken tool, a spent shell, or a discarded can, remember the fighters who turned trash into triumph. Because survival isn't about what you have. It's about what you can create. Thank you for watching. If you found this useful, subscribe to our channel, where forgotten survival wisdom becomes living knowledge. Because history doesn't just teach us how they lived. It teaches us how we still can.